Chris Cuomo here. Welcome to NewsNation. This is where right and left can come to be reasonable. And wow, did we have big buy-in today in our Congress. Unprecedented participation and cooperation as the House said almost with a unanimous voice, release the Epstein files. Unprecedented buy-in from both sides. Remember, it was a quick procedure, and to do it this way, it required a supermajority, not just 50+1, but 2/3 of the House saying yes. Ordinarily, they couldn't get that for what the name of this country is in terms of their level of disagreement. But today, there was only one no vote. They were one vote from being unanimous. Who was it and why? It was a Republican member of Congress, Clay Higgins of Louisiana. And look, while I've said all along, I believe the files have to be released. I'll tell you, Higgins' objection is not wrong. He argued that this type of broad reveal of criminal investigative files, much of which was never acted upon, when released to a rabid media, will absolutely result in innocent people being hurt, not by my vote. I agree. He is not wrong. So why do I want it released anyway? Because the need for it outweighs the likelihood of prejudice. Why? Well, that's the problem. His party, specifically his fringe faction, MAGA, created the need for this release by selling conspiracies about Epstein for years. He was murdered. There are all these big lefties involved. Maybe there's a little tinge of Pizzagate. All this BS. And now the left has decided to fight fire with fire. And the lack of release after all of that rambunctious rhetoric is suspicious. So they're advancing the idea that the reason the files haven't been released and must is because they must be protecting Trump or some of his friends. Trump must be implicated bigly. Remember, it's not like we haven't seen anything in the files, okay? In February, MAGA podcasters, remember their little binders? Over 100 pages of Epstein files from Bondi, flight logs, contact books, a masseuse list, but nothing came from it, and now they kind of look like fools, and that's why they're pushing for the release. In July, the DOJ and the FBI released the infamous memo saying there was no client list. And Kash Patel and Bongino had come out shortly before saying, yeah, there's no proof that it was anything but suicide, which they had been selling the exact opposite of for years at great profit. They then said no one else would be charged and there'd be no more files released, and that sent MAGA crazy and created an opportunity for the left. But then they did release something else. And this is an important check on mythology. The, quote, raw jail footage of the night Epstein died, showing no one went in or out of his cell that night. Cameras didn't work. It was edited. No, that is hype for hysteria, not fact. Forensic analysts quickly picked up that there was a missing minute of footage, right? That was the conspiracy. It's proof they edited it. So in August, Congress subpoenaed the DOJ to release more, and they did. The DOJ turned over 33,000 pages of the files, and again, not a lot new in there except the missing minute of footage. And guess what it showed? Nothing. Why? Because this is often hype, not the demands of the survivors and their families for transparency, and not one other thing that I'm going to mention in a moment. The only thing that really matters here. And then remember, what led us to this moment was last week, the Oversight Committee released over 20,000 pages of documents they received after subpoenaing Epstein's estate. Again, there was no evidence of what's being sold on both sides. You see a pattern? So the question is it hidden? We'll see based on what's released. Will it be satisfying? I doubt it. Why? 3 reasons. Because what you want was never true. And there'll be conspiracies based off that, too, that these were sanitized. Like Epstein's brother told us here, Trump's team is sanitizing them. That will not be easy to pull off. It's also not going to be easy to disprove, hence great for conspiracies. And then the third reason is there may be legitimate legal reasons for privacy or things being kept. So what is the ultimate prize? That's what matters most, and it comes from the survivors. Congressman Massey, Republican, says the FBI has witnessed interviews where survivors named at least 20 powerful men who may have been Epstein's clients that he trafficked girls to. Billionaires, Hollywood producer, royal prince, it's probably that guy Andrew that got defrocked or whatever you call it, a rock star, a magician. But I'll tell you this, couple things. If the DOJ didn't act on any of those things, that's one thing. Now, if they hid those people, that's another. I find that highly unlikely. Why? Because if the names come out at all, they would obviously CYA, right? So if those names come out, they better include information that led not just to the implication within those interviews, what they call the federal 302s, which, remember, lying to a Fed is a crime. Lying to a cop necessarily is not, okay? So a 302 is a heavier statement than just an interview with a cop. But if they include what implicated these men, what was said about them that could be damning, they better include why they decided not to act. And there are a couple other questions. If this list exists, why didn't Massey release who the 20 are? Why didn't the victims' lawyers release who they are? Why didn't they tell us at least whether or not they sued any and all of the 20? So those are questions. I don't know if they'll be satisfied by this release. We'll see. So how do we see it going, and what is hoped for? Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.